welcome to another episode of Wittenberg Radio TV.
You live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. We're happy to be here again. We've got a really good show planned for today.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. Lots of fun things to talk about. Little teaser. We've got two art students who are going to talk about science. Get ready for that.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
If you didn't know, it's roughly the 1 year anniversary of the COVID closures. So we've got the lovely Rachel Krause going to join us in a little bit.
In a little bit, but first, of course, we got to do the weekly.
The weekly, of course.
Of course. Dan, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'll just kick it off. So, as we know, we haven't been able to have our usual commuter pancake lunches, which, as a commuter, is very much something that's very near and dear to my heart. So they've proposed a kind of a workaround on this, and so this Paddy's Day, the Commuter Council is presenting St. Paddy's Pancakes. Commuter Council is bringing your favorite carb-filled pancake lunch to you. You can pick up a pre-arranged or pre-packaged bag of pancake mix in the commuter lounge. You can make pancakes from the comfort of your own home. You can use the goodies in the bag to get creative and make your pancakes St. Patrick's Day themed. Then DM your creations to the CMU Commuter Instagram page, which is at CMU Commuters on Instagram, and pick up in the commuter lounge. You can do it from Thursday, March 11th to Tuesday, March 16th. And if you submit creations by on Wednesday, March 17th, I think it'll get posted on the commuter Instagram page.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting. I'm
not even a commuter, but I'm going to follow it just because I want to see what these pancake creations turn out to be.
Yeah. Well, you could probably show up and just sneak some pancake.
I could
I hope
ask.
Nobody's watching this. That's going to stop Chloe from stealing pancake mix.
I do love pancakes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a way to segue from pancakes to coffee. You know what goes well with pancakes?
What goes well with pancakes, Chloe?
Coffee. Especially
True,
coffee houses.
Yes, coffee houses.
The Spring Coffee House is back. And you can sign up through Arts and Entertainment Committee. They're going to be hosting the Spring Coffee House on March 24th at 9:15 p.m. on Zoom. So you can sign up and you can do a song, a poem, a dance, a joke, a monologue, or really anything you think will be entertaining. Mm-hmm. Dan, you're pretty good at monologues.
Oh, I'm pretty good at monologues. Yeah, I've been known to do some monologuing in my time. Yeah. Time's a little bit past me, but maybe I'll roll back the years. Would you do anything in it?
You know what? My go-to, I think I could write a really good poem, a really fun poem.
A little bit of slam poetry.
That'd
be pretty dope. What would it be about, Chloe?
It would be about WRTV.
Nice. I like that. Next up, the Peace and Sustainability Council is having an online market. So their sustainable market last year was such a success, they couldn't let COVID ruin their plans. This year, you can find the market online to purchase all the items at 50% off retail price. In-person item pickup will happen on Tuesdays from 11:30 to 1 p.m. at the Blaurock. Mm-hmm. If you don't know where the Blaurock is, that's north side.
It's over there.
Great Hall Music Wing area.
Yeah. I checked it out. Mm-hmm. And they're selling Pure Nada lip balms. Pure Nada is actually made in Morden, Manitoba. Shout out. Morden. And it's the best lip balm. I use it every day. So snag some of those. That's my recommendation. Mm-hmm. So behind me, you might see, is the library, our beautiful, beautiful library in Marpeck Commons here. And a little reminder, I didn't even know this.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I've realized I don't know a whole lot about CMU.
Yes. So if you come to the library and you forget your charger and your laptop is dying, you're finishing up just the most beautiful essay you've ever written, you can check out chargers. There is an assortment of chargers for various kinds of laptops, and you can go check them out like you would a library book, I guess. And if your laptop doesn't seem to have a charger in their collection that fits, you can email, I think it's Levi Clausen, actually. Check the email that's in the daily, and then you can get connected there. But library, just saving the day.
Yeah, man. Well, now that everything's moving to online copies of things,
that's
you kind of need
true.
your book, your computer for some book things.
And you need it well charged.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Well. That's the weekly, the daily and the weekly. Should we move on?
Let's move on.
Great. Well, we'd now love to present, to announce, to welcome our assistant professor of biology at CMU, Rachel Krause, to come and join us. Maybe talk a little bit about the effects that COVID has had on CMU, on campus, and what lasting effects we're going to see in classes from now on.
Welcome here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Awesome. We've been talking about COVID, or like trying to, and honestly, every time Dan and I try to talk about science, it doesn't go very well.
No.
So we're really excited to have you.
To have somebody that's smart in the realm of science. That's not...
Sounds great.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
So I guess one thing to note here that's probably good context for this conversation is that you taught an infectious diseases class last semester, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I teach a course on global health. So we talk about all sorts of things related to health, and infectious disease, of course, is a really important part of that. And the nice thing about that course is that we kind of think about health from a global and also holistic perspective, right? So your health isn't just, did you run into someone with COVID today and you got unlucky and you breathed in a bunch of
I hope not.
virons? I'm sure you didn't. You got your mask on. So you're fine. But also, how old are you? Where do you live? Your income bracket, your education level, your parents' history, the kind of community you live in, all of these things together form our health. And we see that a lot with COVID, actually, too.
That's super interesting.
Yeah.
I had a few friends that were in that course, and they were just raving about it. They found it super interesting, especially because COVID was going on. So would you say, now, this is a strange question, but would you say the pandemic actually enhanced the learning in that class?
Yeah, I mean, I'm hesitant to say good things have come out of COVID,
I
but
know.
it was definitely really, really interesting.
Okay.
Right? And actually a lot more students took it in the fall because,
Oh.
well, the first day of class, I asked students, how many of you are here maybe a little bit because you're interested in COVID? And everyone put their hand up. So it's always a popular course because we're interested in our own health, right? But with COVID, it's just so immediately affecting our lives every day.
Yeah.
And it was really a chance to dissect that and also kind of bring back that these things are all interconnected, that we can't think about COVID separate from, our health system, our education system, political equality and reconciliation in the country, the environment, on and on and on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then, how much of an effect do you think that COVID will have on future science biology classes?
I don't know that it will change how we teach science, but it certainly has changed how people think about science.
Interesting.
Right, the vocabulary that everyone has. We all have, transmission rates and what else? Fomites, right? The surfaces that we get infections from. We now think in terms of, different modes of transmission, aerosols versus fomites versus other kinds of transmission pathways. We think about numbers of people
my gosh.
differently, right?
Yeah.
Every day we're checking the numbers, how many people were infected, how many people are in hospital, all these different ways that we count things. And so I think students are coming in with a broader vocabulary around those kinds of things and different kinds of questions. So I think that is going to be something that we see until maybe the kids who are in elementary school now,
Right.
through university. This is going to follow us for a long
Yeah.
time, which is great. It's
Absolutely.
great that we all know a bit more about science.
Yeah. Do you think then that the pandemic has maybe shifted more people into thinking that they want to learn more about science, or maybe pushed it away, being like, I've had enough of this in my
Too
lifetime
much
already?
science.
Well, I think people are really curious about science. I don't know if you remember, last April, May, June, we were learning a lot of new things about the disease biology itself. And I think that really brought home for a lot of people who hadn't thought about the production of science before, how science actually happens. And then, every once in a while we'd have a switch. Our public health officers would say, no, please don't wear masks. People don't know how to use them properly. It's just gonna, it's gonna cause more spread. And then, we get more data in, and they say, well, actually, aerosols are much more important with COVID spread than we previously thought. People maybe can learn how to use masks properly, and if we think about not touching our faces and washing our hands, actually, it's safer if we wear a mask. So we've asked the public to kind of do these 180s every once in a while in terms of policy and precautions, and the science has informed all of that. And so, I mean, there are fringes who stuck on something early on, and I can't do much about that. But for the most part, I feel like the general population has really come to understand better how science works in the moment, right? Like we're seeing science in action.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you found that COVID and everything that we've been learning about, has it changed any of your interests or any of what you're studying right now?
So I study global health, and I study particularly environmental impacts on health and nutrition and infection dynamics. And every time something like this happens, every new kind of big natural phenomenon shifts how we think about those things. So we think about global health, pre-December 2019, people working in global health were always really interested too in things like climate change.
Right.
Because this global phenomenon that's impacted all of us, or like in the nutrition field, we think back often to the 2008, 2009 economic meltdown that also caused this huge global food security crisis. And we still are seeing repercussions of that. And so we're going to see COVID follow us for a long, long time.
Oh,
we're going to
good.
See, these things shape us, right? They shape us as societies and as individuals and families. And we're going to see that. Think about your own grandparents, right? If they lived through the Depression or the Second World War, they do certain things that are a little bit odd, maybe.
Right.
That you understand through that lens. And sometimes I wonder, like, when I'm a grandparent, are my grandkids going to be like, why do you always, swerve around people on the sidewalk? I don't know what happens.
Why do you sanitize your hands so much?
Why are you so obsessed with watching your hands? Like, these things they're gonna impact us into the future, and for better and for worse. I think. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball.
Well, one of the great things that CMU has done in terms of making it accessible for hybrid classes is everybody wears masks indoors, right?
Yeah.
And that's a countrywide thing. But do you think that mask wearing is just going to become more common in the next few years in terms of just for everyday use?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder about that. I mean, we look at some societies like urban China and other parts of really urbanized Southeast Asia, where there's been earlier concern over things like bird flu, swine flu, and SARS also. And so there seemed to have been a shift in the culture towards, I'm sick, or I'm not sure, or I'm nervous, so I'm going to wear a mask, and that seems more normal. In North America, I wonder. I really wonder. I don't know. I suspect we won't. But I think we'll be much more suspicious of people around us who have, the sniffles or come to work or school sick.
Yeah.
Right. I think what I hope will happen is that will become something that we find other ways to deal with.
Right.
With sick leave and with accommodating people who are sick, that will take all of those things more seriously, and that will benefit all of us.
Nice.
I hope.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I think our last big wrap-up question, and this is a lot to ask of you, Rachel, but we're here with a science professor, so we got to ask it. What's next? From all the pandemics you've researched, what can I expect?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I was surprised by COVID.
I thought I would give it a try.
No. I think that's the exciting, scary thing is that, pandemics are like earthquakes. We expect them, but we don't know when.
Oh.
And there'll be another.
Okay.
But we'll be better prepared. We're always better and better prepared. Yeah. It's a good time to be alive. Even if it's COVID. Right? It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, find the positives where you can, I guess, and not the positives in COVID testing.
Not the positive tests.
No, yes.
The positive in learning.
Good, yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I've kind of thought about is like, I don't know, mask as a fashion statement.
We all do have very nice masks today. I really like yours, the bandana kind of print on it.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just kind of hope that we're gonna keep some kind of a fashion statement face thing going on after COVID. If there's one thing we move on from COVID with as a society, it's
fashionable masks.
Fashionable masks.
I like it.
And looking cool still on your face. I don't know where I fully caper back, but yeah. Anyways, Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You are super intelligent, and we appreciate that you've chosen to spend some time with us Wittenberg radio hosts.
I'm always happy to talk about science.
Oh, good.
Thanks for the invitation.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, that was lovely. I feel like I learned so much. I every time I talk to someone in the sciences, I'm like, I don't know that much. But also, it's really good to foster those relationships with people in other disciplines and other majors.
So you can sound smart when you're talking about things in the future. Right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's all about your ego.
Yes. Well, we've had that conversation before. Anyways, time to move on to quick wit.
Let's do some quick wit.
Nice. Should I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. So mine is one that's very near and dear to my heart.
Oh.
I might be wearing a Western.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this yet, Dan. Where do you go to school? Can you remind me?
I go to CMU.
Yeah, so what is that you're wearing right there?
So this is my mom's old, probably 30, 40-year-old Westman jacket from when she played on the basketball team there.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, she holds the record for the most amount of assists for the women's Westman basketball team still.
Still? Big flex.
20-something, 20.
Yes, Karen.
22, 26 in a game, something like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm more okay with that then.
Yeah, so it even says Rid on the back.
Very cool, very cool.
Even though my name is McIntyre Rid.
It's still in there.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so your quick wit near and dear to your heart?
So it's I mean, sports related. Futsal team is that I'm part of. The futsal team is starting to practice again.
Yay!
We're starting up next week, and that is exciting. I mean, we're gonna be wearing masks and stuff, and that was not fun the first time we tried it, but we'll make it work. But I'm excited to get active again. I'm excited to have a reason to get active again. I don't think the volleyball team is.
We have teammates from like all over Manitoba, some who wouldn't be available to come drive in for practices. So we're just kind of doing our own personal fitness thing right now. But I'm really happy that you guys are going to gather and play some futsal.
Yeah, there's something great about kicking a ball around. It's just community building. Have to slip that in.
Community building.
Hey,
we did it.
Yeah, we're at CMU. Woo! Yeah, there's my quick wit. How about yours?
Okay. You know what? Mine, it's a little bit more serious. I'll be honest. I have been paying a lot of attention to Twitter. I'm on Twitter fairly often, but there's this interesting thing happening on Twitter where there have been these really interesting threads of women and female identifying folks sharing to men what they wish they would do when they're out walking in public. And this was spurred from the death of Sarah Everard in Europe. And I just found it incredibly interesting that this conversation was started online, but it's also a conversation that I think we need to have more in person with people of all genders in our life. I learned a lot from these threads. I learned a lot of the fears that I have as a woman are shared by a lot of other women, and that was very important for me to see. And this is obviously not a thing that just happens in Europe. This is not a one-time thing, not a one-time conversation. I think about Jana Williams here in Winnipeg, that story that just happened. And yeah, so my quick wit is to have way more conversations about safety and how you can help, especially men, how a man can help women feel safe when they're out walking just in public any time of the day. Yeah.
I think I'm in a class where we're talking about the relationship between Christianity and indigeneity, but basically we're talking about how best to go about changing things and bringing up discussion topics that are tough to talk about. And I mean, it starts with the people that you're closest to in terms of family, like dinner table, extended family gatherings, and that might be difficult to do, but yeah.
I think it's going to be hard maybe to take this conversation from Twitter to the people that are closest to you and the people that are around you, but I think it's very important to do.
Yeah, there's something about the anonymity to a certain extent of being online. Right? And it's just sometimes hard to talk about things. It is hard to talk about things like that in person.
It definitely is. So I'm grateful that the conversation was started. It was due to just this horrifying event, but I really hope that the conversation continues. Yeah.
Well, I'm here to talk.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm here to listen.
Thanks, Dan.
So is everybody at WRTV. But I think that just about wraps us up for today.
I think it does. This was a wonderful episode. Once again, thank you to Rachel for coming in and just dropping some knowledge.
Knowledge bombs, yeah. And also, of course, as per week, thanks to the the lovely live streaming crew that's sitting behind the cameras and the monitors right now.
Got Rosa and Austin today, and they're doing one heck of a job.
Couldn't be doing better. Anyways, goodbye.